Hey y'all, welcome to this week's lesson, Herbal Medicine 101. It's still winter. Actually, today was really nice. It felt, it feels like we're beginning to get towards spring. I know a lot of y'all are still freezing in a lot of parts of America and throughout the world, but today was actually really nice here. It was maybe low mid 60s, and the sun had a little more yellow tint to it than that white, stark winter tint. It was just a real nice day to be outside. And it got me thinking about winter herbs. I love to grow or wildcraft the herbs I use. And a lot of times in the winter, we feel like there's not much out there. Well, actually, there is. I did a whole podcast on that. But I want to direct your attention today toward this little herb. Very pretty, odd looking little herb. But if you live anywhere where there's acidic soil, like sandy soil, it's actually pretty adaptable, but I usually do find it near pines. This little plant is very easy to find in the winter because it's one of the only green things on the ground. Now, a lot of people harvest it when it's in flower. I actually prefer to harvest in the winter because most of the medicine is in the root. And in the wintertime, all that energy is stored up in the root. The leaves are quite tasty, actually. They're a nice little snack. They have medicinal properties as well. This is spotted wintergreen. There's several varieties of wintergreen. It's in the family of Pipsissewa. You may have, if you read much about herbs, you've probably heard about Pipsissewa. You can snack on these leaves. These are wintergreen. This is that flavor that is often duplicated in candies and syrups. It's very mild in the wild plant. And like I said, the leaves are good. The whole plant is actually medicinal. The berries, even that it will form later in the year, are very nice medicine. But the root is particularly good. And what I'm going to do with this, I am going to take the leaves and save them, probably cut them off about right here. I'll use these later. Sometime, later in the year when I maybe feel a little hay fever or head cold or something, or this is also good for some skin conditions, if you need that. I can take these and make a tea or a tincture out of them. The root, I'm going to go ahead and make a nice tincture out of and keep this on hand for the rest of the year. Now, I'm going to read to you the properties of this herb because my memory is never as good as I think it is. All right, spotted wintergreen. The Latin name is Chimaphila maculata. Chimaphila maculata. It's in the wintergreen family, obviously. This stays green through the winter, and so it's called wintergreen. The plant is analgesic, antibacterial, astringent, diaphoretic, diuretic, febrifuge, rubefacient, stimulant, and tonic. Now, what does that mean? All right, analgesic helps with pain. Febrifuge helps with fever. Diaphoretic helps bring that fever and spike it so it'll break a fever. Antibacterial, that's obvious. Astringent shrinks the tissues. Diuretic means it um, causes you to pee a little more, get a little urine out of your body, bring the blood pressure down a little bit, or get rid of, stored fluids, boggy tissue. Rubefacient means it makes red and warm. That's more the topical use. The plant has antiseptic influence on the urinary system. This is one that is particularly good for urinary tract infections, bladder infections. This is an excellent one to keep on hand, whether you can grow it. If you have a friend who lives maybe in the Sandhills area or some of the coastal areas to get more sandy, acidic soils, they can find it for you. These things are killed by the millions every year when people come in and just rip out or round up their native plants and want to put down sod. Okay? Always look for plants like this that you can save from real estate development. Um, let's see, what else? It's good for rheumatism and colds. Um, it's actually really good for colds, but also for rheumatism. It has a certain warming quality to it. A poultice of the plant, and in that case, we'd be using the leaves. It's been used to treat pain. The plant is loaded with the biologically active compound arbutin, cysticerol, and ursolic acid. Those are the really strong um, urinary tract antibiotics, basically. Well, it can also be used as a wash for ulcers, cankers, sores. This is a wonderful little plant, and it's one that's overlooked by many, many people. Most people don't know what it is. And on a hot summer day on a trail in the woods, if you're especially if you're a pine forest, you're probably going to see a lot of these. And these little leaves make a wonderful little snack if you're foraging. They'll make a wonderful tea. Actually, this is one of the best tea plants. If you take these leaves and you put them together, maybe some mint, or maybe a few pine needles, maybe a few little birch twigs, and you boil that in your water, you're probably going to kill off a lot of stuff that could make you sick, first of all. You're going to get a lot of nice vitamin C. You're going to feel a real pick me up and lift out of this plant, especially when combined with those. And if you see a willow or an elm or one that contains salicin, that's what we make aspirin from. That's what aspirin was originally made from. It's not anymore. This is a wonderful one to combine with the willow for aches, pains, rheumatism, sprains. Anyway, look around. You might see this little sucker poking out of the snow. And if you do, uh, yeah, this is a great winter herb. All right, y'all. I will talk with you next week. And yeah, I like this one. I like the smell of it. I enjoy the flavor of it. And I'm glad to share it with you today. Looking forward to spring.